Hi everyone, it's Monica with Scrap Saturdays, and I'm just going to be doing another quick layout today. I'm trying a new camera angle, so bear with me. I don't even know if I'm going to like the way the video turns out, but here goes nothing. So again, I've done a lot of the prep work before starting it out. My inspiration is a photo of my sister and I, and she's my younger sister by 10 years, and this year is her wedding year, and her birthday just happened to be a few weeks ago, and I had taken this picture out so that I could take a picture with my phone to put it on my profile, and then it just stayed here on my desk. And I have so many other projects that I'm working on, but every time I came into my scrapbook room, this picture was talking to me. And this is part of what I say when people ask me, how do you scrapbook, or where do you start? This is where you start. You start with a photo that touches your heart. It doesn't matter when it's from, how old it is. There's no right or wrong way. It's just the feeling that scrapbooking gives you, and it's that happy feeling. And so I happen to have some remnants of things and all other sorts of stuff that I did pull out. Like I pulled out my paper flowers that I get from my local dollar store, and I found these skeleton leaves as well. These are from the dollar store. These are not the real Prima version or anything like that. These are some old chipboard pieces that I believe are from Making Memories. This is not the packaging, but I like the pink colors on it. This is some vellum that has a saying, "You lean on me, I'll lean on you, and we'll be okay." And that kind of resonated with me a little bit. I've got this Kling's stamp from Hero Arts. I've never used it before. Just little things that I pulled out. I finally got a Tim Holtz ruler this week with my Michaels coupon, and I also got the, oh gosh, what a distressing tool, and I do love it. So I remember I was telling you guys on my favorite things. I've upgraded drastically from my little sponge guy that worked wonders for me, but this thing is amazing. So I'll show you that on my other project, because I'm currently making a mini album on about dogs for someone who took care of our dog while we were away in Cuba. And just another little stamp set that I acquired, the Ditto brand. I got this one, and I make everything fall off my desk, and I got this one. And I used this one already on the page for the pet mini album that I'm making, and I love the way it turned out. So it's called Ditto. It's a brand that we have here. Hampton Arts, I guess, makes it as well. And I haven't tried this one out, but we're going to see what we can make with it today. So again, just bear with me. I don't have any rhyme or reason. And then at the end of my video, you can check out my blog, scrapsaturdays.com, and you can see what the end result is. So using my cartridge, my Cricut cartridge from, I think I used the Hannah Montana one, I cut out the word sisters. And I actually saved the little R piece, or the little round piece for the R, and I am going to add that in afterwards. And I just love using this idea where instead of using the letters that came out from it, I'm actually using the shadow effect on top of this other piece that I cut out from my ribbons and rosettes. And this was just a nothing piece. It was just trying out this shape, which I absolutely love. So I tried it out. I wasn't going to keep it. There are a few pieces on this side where I think my blade needs to be adjusted, and I did use a really old mat, so making up all those excuses, I love the way this side turned out, and I believe I'm going to be mounting it behind there and just leaving that little top note shape at the bottom here. But the first thing I did want to do was use a pencil and lightly mark where my center was for this turquoise piece. And I guess I'm not sure how the angle is going, and I hope you guys are okay with this view, but this is what my idea is going to be. And I did not draw this or take it from a magazine, because if I do take my idea from a magazine, I'll show you guys what magazine it is and stuff like that. So I've just drawn a square, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's just lightly there, so that I can go ahead and stamp outside or within that frame of that square. And the reason is I just want it to look for extra dimension instead of always layering with papers. Because you know what I did this year? I actually took my scraps, my whole bin, and when I cleaned out my room just after Christmas from the long time that I hadn't been scrapbooking, I threw away all my scrap paper because it was causing me distress. I didn't know what to do with it anymore. And I didn't throw it away, I recycled it. And I just thought, enough is enough. I don't need to stare at it. It's haunting me and I haven't done anything with it. So I figured that was the right thing to do. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to be clear embossing with my Versamark, and it's just my plain one. I do have the sparkle one, but I'm just using my plain one. And I am going to be embossing this image so that I can do some distressed resist around it. And again, no rhyme or reason. I just kind of go for it. And I'm just stamping maybe an inch within that square that I made and a little bit outside of it so that the marking is there. And my desk is a nightmare because I told you I have so many other projects on the go, but I wanted to do this one. And as you all probably been there, my sister's planning her wedding and everything's kind of nor here nor there, and things are stressful, exciting but stressful, and just kind of doing this layout just to let her know that I love her, that I'm here for her, that things will work out okay. It doesn't matter what you do in the end, as long as you follow your heart. Just like in scrapbooking, there's no right or wrong way with anything. You just gotta listen to your heart and do what it tells you. So I might be off camera doing this. I just don't want to blow away my excess embossing powder. So I'm just using the Ranger Clear embossing powder. I use my Recollections paper description from the pad as my catcher of my embossing powders. That's how I always do it until they get really icky, and then I throw it away and start again. But that's what I save it for. It's got a good shiny texture that allows my embossing powder to fall right back into it. I keep telling you guys I'm not a fancy scrapbooker. If there's too much thought or too much right and wrong, I get turned off and I don't do it. Okay, so that was just my base for the two corners. Again, just making that layering choice that I wanted. I do have the picture that I'm going to mount there as well. And I'm just going to use a little guides from the polka dots. I think it's just 2 lines in, and it creates a perfect mount for my picture. And this is just from a 4x6 pad of pattern paper that I had, and I just ripped out the paper because I think it matched my sister's purple shirt really nicely. Excuse me. And I have the leftover stamp from my other layout, and I'm just going to use my scissors and trim around it. Excuse me, sorry. I'm getting as close as I can to the dots, but not really worried about the neatness of it. Again, these are just my suggestions. You can scrapbook whatever way you like. If you like neat and detailed, go for it. Just do whatever makes you happy. And scrap lifting. That was going to be my next thing that I was going to say, because sometimes I am inspired by the magazines that I buy and that I see, and I really truly enjoy them. Don't be afraid to do that. I know I told you in the last video, go ahead and do exactly what you see other people do, because if it makes you happy, you're the only one who's going to see it. I'm not in your house. I don't know what you're doing. And if I'm taking the liberty of putting my stuff on YouTube, and you know, it's a ginormous world, and this small little, you know, wonderful thing that we have connects us together, and you like something that I made, well, you're going to make me very happy if you copy me. I have no problem with that. Go right ahead and do whatever it is that you have on hand. Use your stuff. And maybe do what I did. Pick up everything in your scrapbook room and start to throw away or donate. Recycle the things that you haven't used in a long time, because that's okay too. You know, not everything is going to come in handy. Not everybody likes to look at scraps, so you have to find what works for you. Okay, so I just inked the edges there, and I was using the walnut stain from Tim Holtz, the Distress ink. So now, back to my little thing, just to see where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm loving that. And so far, that's where I'm at, and I think that's really neat. So that's just how my mind worked. I don't have a journaling spot yet, and I think that's something I wanted to do. I did want to write what I was going to put for my sister, or what I was thinking when I saw her picture. So I think I'm going to cut this in half, because I'm only using so much of it, right? And then I can use the other half for another layout. I'm not measuring, I'm just using my big honking dollar store scissors. I found these in the sewing section, and I love it because there's such a big surface area, and so when I am cutting something that is, let's say, relatively close to the size of it, if I do one chomp, I think it's pretty straight. At least straight enough for me. I'm really not that, I don't know, crazy about perfection. I am. Like, I love things to be perfect and all that jazz, but not when I'm scrapbooking. I like the freedom of scrapbooking. So yep, that's good enough, and this can go on to something else. I'm not worried about that. So next I'm going to use my other stamp. I'm just going to come over here and reach for some embossing powder. I just went to go grab my, was it the right one? No, sorry, wrong one. My amethyst one, so it's purple. And again, I'm going to be using my Versamark. You guys must be thinking I'm like silly crazy, because I really don't think too much about what I do. Just kind of go like it, love it, do it. Oh, I got to watch Stephanie from Steffo Gal. I watched her Ustream video on her envelope mini, and if you ever watch anything that I do, Stephanie, or if you actually get to hear this, you are so sweet and so funny, and I loved it. And it was so great to watch you do your envelope mini. because you were just so natural about it, and I love that. And I love watching your videos, and I am going to make an envelope mini like yours. I have used that pocket style before. So I believe that this white background paper came out of a 12 by 12 mini album that I never use those, you know, the way that it comes with the page protectors and the white pieces of paper in the background. I never really use them for anything. I usually just sometimes leave them in the album. Well, I made a whole big collection of them, and I'm giving myself a challenge saying that I'm gonna start using white backgrounds more often. Okay, so now we're down to that, and I think that's looking pretty good. Just going back and lightly erasing some of my lines. It's not going to be perfectly erased, but that's fine. Now, what I'm going to do is use my Broken China Distress ink. I'm going to come in and distress that embossed area. And that's exactly the way you see it. Heavy-handed, lots of marking. The more texture I create, the more of a focal point it comes to. I'm hoping you're all still with me. I go silent when my brain is working. Sorry about that. So then I still got another something that I want to cut out, and it's this vellum piece. And I'm only liking this little semicircle that I see over here. Pulling out some more of those colors that are within my pictures and stuff. got some chipboard elements from some really old K & Company chipboard pieces or collection that I got. I don't know what it's from. It's very old. And I'm just sanding out those little attachment nubbies that they come with. And I am sanding down even the edges and the corners just to give it some more distress dimension on there. Now, and here I go again with my jumbo scissors. And this is, oh my goodness, I've had these vellum paper sayings, I think, for 12 years. They're just so big. So old. Did I say big? So old. I'm not feeling my vellum circle piece, so it's not going to stay if I'm not feeling it. And I'm just cutting out a little bit more of that purple fleur-de-lis type vellum pattern that was also there. Just layering some more of that. I think I'm liking it like that. What I want to use. And a couple of polka dot buttons for sure. So I'm going to feed some thread through those polka dot buttons, and I'm not sure I want to bring any more red into that. I am liking the black and the crisscross of all of that. And then I'm going to add some bling and glue everything down. And I'll probably have the bling coming out and my skeleton leaves. So this is my layout for this today, Scrap Saturday. It actually happens to be Saturday. And I'm hoping that you like, you know, stamping on your page. You could stamp more if you want to. I may just do that, just one more little maybe handwriting stamp there. If you're going to want to see what I do in the end or how it turns out, I'm going to take some pictures and put it onto my blog at scrapsaturdays.com. Pick your favorite picture. This is from Christmas maybe last year, but it's me and my sister, and I love you, Lucy. I hope you watch this layout, know that I'm thinking of you, and this is your year to shine. And remember, you lean on me and I'll lean on you, and we'll be okay. Have a great day, guys.